Just fucking do it. Subscribe now. The big, I don't know if fright is the right word, fear. Like in this country, there's supposed to be 8 clearing banks, and there's 600 banks. In Canada, there's 5 clearing banks, and there's 450 banks. And the second-tier banks that he's talking about are as when Barclays goes and opens a bank in Canada. It's normally a lending center. It's not on the ground floor where they're accepting customers, okay? But there's tons of banks. You won't have any trouble finding money. And he said 80-20, but we're at the 60-40 miracle formula now, which you're going to hear about, and it's easy peasy. A combination, if you can't get your board directors to join, when you use the example, $1 million, if my board members had kept their stock, which they didn't, they sold it off, they would each walked away with over $8 million for 9 years of not doing much. So questions about Thomas. And he was 30 days out of the seminar when he gave that. So it's very analogous to where you were going to be in 5 days or 4 days, whatever the time frame is. But everything he said, not everything he says is positive. And you only share doubts with your chairman, because everything's not going to be rosy. I guarantee that. So the quicker you get your chairman, you know, for some of you in this room are used to crying on shoulders. I'm not promoting crying on shoulders. But if you got a good chairman or chairperson, and man up, cunt. Now they don't say that like I do, you know. They used to say back in the day, are you a man or a mouse? Well, we all know you eat mice food. Or mouse food? Anyway. But I wanted to show that, and I'd forgotten. I misspoke earlier when I thought it was going to be somebody else. I thought it was Andres. Because it's close to, the only webinar we have that's as close to your time frame of getting out is, he was out 36 days. Just out 36 days. And he was just, you know, doing terrific. Question in the back.
About the NDA? So you just don't sign.
No, I'm just telling you. They're going to want... Don't take them too serious. I'm not saying for go out and cheat and, you know, take the ID and go, I'm not saying that at all. But, I mean, they're worthless. They're just worthless. I don't think I've ever seen anybody go to court over one. There might have been somebody that I didn't know about, but they're certainly part of the book of M&A, NDAs. And I'm sure in your documents you've got an NDA that you're going to get, but I can't ever remember signing one. Yeah.
He tried to have a very prominent board.
You should all have a prominent board. What you want is you want a board you do not have to explain about. You don't. Well, I'm not going on any boards, but you don't have to explain about me.
But
go ahead.
He made a couple comments. It was a little bit conflicting that he kept having to reclose his board.
That's
if he felt like they were going to veer away.
He said, I'm not going to, you know, I heard a common thread from the webinars, people were losing board members. Well, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to work to have to get them second time. But so he, as a good salesman, you reclose, as an insurance salesman, you reclose and upsell every time you talk to him. You only got $2 million of insurance, but I mean, you really need 6.
He said he met them the third time. You said...
No. Well, he says every time he meets his board. But that's when you were seeing people. This is pre-corona. And some of those world-class board members aren't there anymore. There's world-class, and then there's world-class. The world-class to this, Herman, is not world-class to me. Angela Merkel is world-class. You don't have to explain about the little fat bitch, do you? You don't have to explain about him. You don't have to, well, if you have to explain who's on your board, then you got the wrong people. So that eliminates anybody you've ever known or met. Because everybody you know is dog shit. Is your hand up? Or what? No. Yes, sir.
How many deals did he have closed before he came to the December hardcore?
3. He hadn't closed any then, because he's 36 days out of the... Between then and January, between August and January, he did 3. Anything else about Thomas? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Peña, he mentions that the difficult part was running the businesses.
It is.
But aren't you going to hire like a manager to continue you doing
No,
deals?
it still is. It's like Henry Ford used to say, bring me an idea. Unfortunately, when you bring me an idea, it comes with a pair of hands, meaning it comes with somebody. You know, Scotland is great except for the Scots. Ireland is great except for the fucking dumbass Irishmen. Just imagine all that rolling green and I with none of the fucking drunken bums. New York City is great except for the 8.5 million people there. It's the management of people that most of the kids get in trouble. Making the first acquisition, it's just fucking flat easy. You're going to struggle with managing 15, 20 people. You just will. Unless you're a seasoned manager. And to the best of my knowledge, we got a couple of half-ass managers here, but I mean, you just will. And that's why, the first deal you buy, you're going to live there. If you're going to be sleeping in that empty, I hope you don't have any empty beds in your healthcare thing. But you're going to be sleeping in one of those fucking things. You're going to be there if you're really good for a few weeks till you understand, and if you're normal, a few months. You're going to be the guy taking out the trash at night. You're going to be out, pulling the dead bodies out of the fucking, calling 99 or here 999. What do they call in Canada? Like America. 911. You're going to be washing the dishes. You're going to be cooking the meals. In the beginning, because you don't know when the matron that works there, whether they're lying to you unless you know their job. You don't know. And when you hire kids, sometimes they come to work, sometimes they don't. That's just it. Now, when the group of guys that I was around, when we had a job, we were so fucking thankful. It would take, I'd have to have been hit by lightning not to make it to work. Plus then my dad would beat the shit out of me for being a misfit. Now it's just the opposite. They get a headache. I never knew that diarrhea was something you didn't go to work with. I swear to you. Kids don't if they get diarrhea, they get a migraine. Are you kidding me? I fire people. You got diarrhea? Get another job, asshole. Fix up your ass. You got a migraine? Get a doctor, but not on my time. People don't go to work. All kinds of reasons now. Not our kids. We go, if you got a broken arm and it hasn't been set yet, you go to work. Like I told you, all my life, I never saw my dad take a day off. My entire life. And when he retired after 28 years at the LAPD, they gave him a check for like $55,000 for the 706 days of statutory time he didn't take off. Now they don't do that. You lose it after a year but they used to accumulate it back in the 40s and 50s and 60s. And that was a big fucking check, boy. That was big money back in 1971, 55 grand. But I never saw him take a day off. So, his grandkids, I mean, you work. It's a privilege to have a job. Okay, what else? Anything else? Yes, ma'am. Is this a one-eyed, one-tit, one-legged, or is this?
It's a question.
Okay.
So you recommend that we become the CEO of the company?
No, just because you're cleaning the trash cans doesn't mean you're CEO.
Just to understand the business, so we know the.
Yeah, but because has anybody got any healthcare experience in the room? Okay, maybe depending on what it is or what it was. Like the Viking bitch. I forget what her title was. She has experience. And now, because of the corona money, people aren't coming back to work. They make as much money or slightly less or slightly more than that, not coming to work. But that's going to end soon. And when it ends, you're going to see all the employment numbers go to shit that the NBC and all these guys put up on the board. Because those people are not counted as unemployed. A lot of big companies aren't. This is the perfect time for corporate world to clean up their balance sheet. This is the perfect time for the corporate world to write off assets, close down businesses, fuck unions out of their contract. This is the perfect time to have a recapitalization of the corporate world and get away with it like Pontius Pilate did to Christ. Wash their hands. And believe you me, I predicted it back in March, a year ago March. I predicted, one, big companies that shouldn't get any fucking money are going to take money. And that's been all over the news. Number two, people would rather not work and get paid than work. And we haven't had that bubble yet. Come September, October, when it ends, and it's going to hit the numbers November, December, January. You're going to see. Perfect for us. Perfecto. Anything else about Thomas before we start on chairman? Okay, now you've left, you're gone, you've decided healthcare. You've decided assisted living. You've decided the lowest form of assisted living. The rule of thumb is you want 30 to 40 beds. That's just an aside. You want to remember that. Call it 40. You want facilities that have 40 slots. 41 so you can sleep there as well. Okay? You put together your executive summary, which they have samples. You're going to get samples of. But they have to be based on fact, the executive summaries, not just bullshit. For example, there's 31,000 assisted living, this is old numbers, a year or two, 31,600 assisted living in the continental United States. So that's 48 states because we're not counting Canada. We're not counting Alaska and Hawaii. So roughly about 750 assisted living per state in America. So that's where you're going to decide. So assisted living has been growing at 7-8% a year for the last 25 years. Since Korean War, you put all this shit in your executive summary. Then you're going to write up a mission statement. We got samples of that too. I never had a mission statement. I didn't even know it was on our fucking gigs. But you're going to write up a mission statement. Okay. I would go to Google mission statement and just copy one. Just plug in your shit. Now you're going to go and you want a chairman. You want a non-executive chairman. There are probably the 600 or 800 or 900,000 people that are on LinkedIn. There's probably 10,000 chairmen. And you're going to follow the scripts. But the bottom line is, in the subject matter, the one that worked, now this is pre-corona, worked the best was free founders equity. Free founders equity. Now, a lot of people will just discount the free because they don't believe it. They think you're a lion, camel jockey, thief from Kuwait or something. And then there's two ways. There's either email, or call, email, call. I like call, email, call because I'm slicker than baby shit on the phone. Bruce the Whipple uses email, call, email, although he's slick too. But I'm the hammer and he's not. He's finesse. He's the finesse. The je ne sais quoi closer. I'm not. I choke you. Gouge your fucking eye out. So in the link fuck, you want them to, you want to extract their email address. Non-link fuck address, but email address. Because I'm told, I haven't done this, but I'm told you only get so many emails, so much this, so much shit that you use on LinkedIn. I normally get them the first time around, but anyway, for you, you might not. So you send out, let's say 20 invitations at a time. And if you send out too many, LinkedIn says you're spamming people and they shut you down. That's never happened to me, but I know some of the kids send 3,000 or 4,000 at a time, and they wonder why they get shut down. I tell you not to do that, but you do it. So then you get a response. Let's say you get 5 responses. Now, you've sent these people the invitations because you've looked at their profiles and they've got 25 to 40 years experience, preferably in healthcare. And for example, the guy that recently retired, he's already on 20 boards, from Cardinal Health, a dynamite guy, he's been awarded by Obama and everybody, he would be a great chairman. He's now on a bunch of boards, so he would have been a great opportunity before Corona. But I'm using this as an example, Cardinal Health. The former head of the Deputy Secretary of Healthcare for Obama, or for Bush, or for Trump, or for Biden. Biden, he'd still be there, so it wouldn't be Biden. Deputy Undersecretary. It's tough to get the former secretaries because they're like hen's teeth. They're in demand. And would they rather be on your board, or would they rather be on the board of Mayo Clinic? They'd rather be on the board of Mayo Clinic, or Cleveland, or Johns Hopkins. And now, contrary to before, you'd set up a meeting and you'd go have coffee at Starbucks. And you're not taking these guys to dinner, you're not taking them to lunch, you're not taking them to fuck all, because you got no money. A couple years ago, before Corona, some guy took one of the former, I forget, some big hitter, and lunch was $400. Poor bastard, I felt sorry for him. Sally was going to send him the money. I said, no, we'll be sending everybody money then. It's one thing for us to buy dinner for Andreas, but we're not sending these assholes money. And they send me now why would they send me the receipts? Thank you. There'll be a hope that's why, okay. So you start a rapport, and you say that you're looking for non-executive chairman. Now, the questions likely to be asked of you are, who else have you asked? Don't lie about this, because it's a small universe. Who else have you asked? And in Europe, they're going to, what's the time commitment? Remember, we talked about time commitment, okay? In the beginning, about 4 or 5 hours a month, which is the truth. And you send them after you started a conversation, you send them your executive summary. And in your executive summary, you say that you're planning in 3 to 5 years on exiting either to a strategic partner or a IPO, public offering. And you put the numbers, we're going to go public when we've got $500 million in revenue, or whatever the number is. And they will equate in their own mind. You don't have to explain it to them. They will equate in their own mind what that is worth. They haven't asked you for the percentage, and you're not telling them. You heard Thomas, which is true. Quality people don't ask. There's only fucking bums like you that ask. When we had Andrus's board meeting, nobody knew shit. Okay, YouTube, goodbye. We don't want YouTube to know too much.